out on our own thing. Ah, we're live. Well, okay, YouTube, back again with another video. Wait. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is not my channel. This isn't the True Life Vids legendary channel. This is the United Smarks podcast, first edition. We are live. Welcome in to the first debut edition of the United Smarks podcast. Hope you got your popcorn and your drink or whatever you're drinking, Monster, Rockstar beside you, because it's going to be a long show. It's going to be full of a lot of talk about wrestling, movies, MMA, everything. We're going to get everything done tonight. Next week, we got a huge guest joining us, but we'll leave that till a little bit later. I'm with your three hosts here. Myself, True Life Vids, Amos, along with...
Jack, Maldi Mother 29 on the YouTube, at TimMR29 on Twitter. Just pretty much do the same as everyone else. Make YouTube videos, but this is going to be a very this is going to be an enjoyable project, and I cannot wait to see it progress into the future.
Indeed, my friend. Indeed.
Yeah, he basically took the words out of my mouth. AwesomeGOL on YouTube, and at AwesomeGO1123 on the Twitter machine. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is gonna be a good time. A little laughs and a lot of talk about wrestling and movies and whatever comes to mind.
We already have 4 viewers, so shout out to all you guys.
Everything in between. Shout out to the 4 viewers. Yes, we appreciate your support for our first debut episode. I'm trying to make this, as great as possible. And, the viewers are the biggest part of the podcast. So let's get right into it. We're going to start talking about some big news in the wrestling world. First, starting off with the news that Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins has become the new TNA president. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, it seemed to come out of nowhere, really. There's me asleep, waking up, checking all of my Twitter news, and there it is. Billy Corgan, the lead, the Smashing Pumpkins, is now the president of TNA Wrestling, and Dixie Carter is now, I think it's
now the chairman.
The chairman. Really just came out of left field. That's an American reference. I don't watch baseball, but yeah, I've heard it before, so I'm going to use it now. It's I don't know. I originally thought it was a work, but how can it be a work? Just waiting for the old Wrestling Observer to see what Dave has to say about it. But,
Big Dave,
hopefully,
the life coach.
Hopefully, maybe something good can come from this.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be refreshing in a way, because all these past few years, and not few, a lot of years, we've been used to Dixie being president and basically controlling everything, both kayfabe and not kayfabe wise. So, I mean, it should be refreshing. Like Jack said, it came out of nowhere, like an RKO from Randy Orton.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt real quick, but Jack, do you mind enabling the chat? I think some people are trying to get the chat going here, but
I will.
nobody's enabled the chat box. Get it started.
I will be onto that right now.
But
yeah, Gio, continue on.
While he's doing that, I really, like Jack said, it came out of nowhere. Like, when I found out, I was like, oh, okay, like, it's different. But it should be good, because, like, when you think about who a new president for TNA could be, I guess Billy Corgan would be the best choice, considering that he's been there for a little while now, and he doesn't seem like he's crazy or anything. So, I mean, yeah, it should be good and different. I want to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I know. I feel like he's gonna give an interesting field to TNA. I think he's gonna, as the new president, he's gonna try and make it more like a unique company, and like kind of like separate themselves from other wrestling companies. Like do something to try and make their show different than everybody else's shows and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's cool. First one, like everybody else, like you and Jack said, I was surprised that they that like this wasn't even work, because I went on the some like wrestling news Twitter page, and it said Billy Corgan, the new TNA president, and it was like a folder, not a folder, like a sheet of paper showing like the announcement. I thought it was a work too. I thought it was like someone just put that as a joke, but I guess it wasn't a joke, and this is the real deal. So Billy Corgan, he's got the whole company in his hands, I guess, because he's responsible now for what goes on for the shows and everything else. So we'll see from here. We can't jump to any conclusions right now and say he's going to be good and say he's going to be bad, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
Right. And it's not like Dixie was doing a terrible job, but it's just
She wasn't doing a good job either.
right. She wasn't doing a good job or a bad job. She was just like
Yeah,
there in the middle.
she was doing a she wasn't a good chairman. I mean, she wasn't a good president. She wasn't a bad president. She was a decent, semi-decent.
Yeah, it's gonna be good to see how somebody else can take it in a different direction than it was going. I mean, I've been fine with the way TNA's been going lately because their booking has been fairly better since like months ago. And just the company in general, like people have been saying how it's gonna die and all that, but at the same time, people have been saying that for years. And now with Billy Corgan being president, yeah, there's a big chance that it's not gonna die for a little while. Now that Corgan is
for a
president.
little while, I'm one of those people that like I'm like half and half on the situation. Like I don't know, I've always wanted to see TNA somewhat die, pretty soon, so that all their talent could like rush over to other companies and we could see those dream matches. But like I don't know. I don't wish failure towards a wrestling promotion. I don't think that's something wrestling fans should be doing. We should be supporting all types of wrestling, all wrestling companies. But at the same time, I don't know. It'd be nice to see some TNA guys go over to WWE. But I mean, their roster right now isn't even that strong, to be honest. So it doesn't really matter. They can be their own company. They can do their own thing, and we wish them the best in their future endeavors.
I'm looking forward to the 50-cent DVDs if they ever go out of business.
Yes, if they do go out of business, and we can finally see some WWE. Like they can make the rise and fall of TNA. They can do TNA match comps. I mean, that's going to be freaking amazing. Like, imagine the day that WWE announces that the rise and fall of TNA is going to be coming out and they're interviewing old TNA guys. Like, that's going to be freaking sick. That's awesome. So, I don't know. Can't wait to see. One day. But for the time being, they're still a company. They're still around, so it's all good.
I don't mean to sound like an idiot because I'm never in control of this. How do you actually enable chat?
Hold on. I don't know if I can. Let's see here.
Well, you guys deal with
that. While we figure this out, Gio, bring up something else that you want to.
Yeah, let's talk about something because I'm trying to get this going here. Maybe I'll log out for a second. Wait, Jack, can you use your mildly moderate red account first so I can use the United Smarks account so I can enable the chat because I know how to do it.
Yeah, no problem. So I will leave. And
come back. We're gonna be back. Gio will take over for the time being. And Robbie One Kenobi, just want to let you know, you said we want Austin. Austin
no,
Smith,
you don't.
AHS Rules. No, he has his own podcast. This is our podcast. He has his own shit. We have our own shit. So you don't request for people that aren't a part of this podcast. This is our podcast. They have their podcast. I'm pretty sure they say the same thing. So yeah. Nothing against them. They're cool. Their podcast's awesome, but at the same time, we got our own. They got their own.
Except for next week.
It wouldn't mesh well. Except for next week. Next week's gonna be unique. So yeah. Right. We'll be back.
Well, I can't leave on this whole end of broadcast, and I don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, sure.
So if you have questions, tweet us on Twitter.
Yeah, do that because we'll answer it. For now, at least for the first episode. By next week, we should have everything fixed. So just for right now, or until we get it fixed today, tweet us your questions. You already know all of our Twitters if you're listening to this.
So I want to bring up the next story, I guess. I want to talk about G1, the Epic tournament, which is taking place in Japan right now. Of course, yesterday was I feel like the most anticipated match of the tournament, Tanahashi versus Okada, the rematch from the most recent encounter at Wrestle Kingdom. Um, this was like the biggest match, and it ended in a time limit draw. You know, um, I think it was like Tanahashi went for he hit like three like frog splashes. He went for the cover. Referee counted two, and the bell sounded. He thought he won, but it turned out it ended in a time limit draw, so he was unable to get that final win, which would take him to the lead and would be crowned the winner of Block A. So the winner of Block A for the 2016 New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax is none other than Hiroki Goto. Pretty surprising about that, but I feel like he had a pretty good a pretty great tournament really. Um, Gio, what do you really like? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I feel like this was a perfect way to go in this match, especially with the history that these two guys have had. All right, I'm going to say this now, and I'm not going to regret it. Tanahashi and Okada have probably had one of the best like story rivalries in the past decade in wrestling, just because all of their matches are amazing. All their matches are usually 5 stars or close to 5 stars. I'm not saying that they are the best rivalry. I'm saying that they're one of the best. Um, and these guys, both of them, are amazing in their own way when it comes to in-ring stuff. And I, like I said, I think that this was a great way to go booking wise, because look, now you have Haruki Goto, who was kind of like way, and people like were not really expecting him to just win the whole block, and then like you have this go to a draw, and it's like, whoa, like what is happening? And that's something that's probably not going to happen, or it won't be expected in the Cruiserweight Classic, which I wanted to see happen, a time limit draw. Like if that happened in the Cruiserweight Classic that's going on in WWE, then that really like changes the whole like kind of landscape in a way of the whole tournament. So
Yeah, so we have a comment from AHS Rules. He says, "I don't associate myself with pussies. I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't know what I have done, what any of us have done wrong. But if you would care to elaborate on that, then that would be much appreciated. Thank you." So we'll get Amos to
right.
join back. But for now, I just want to run down the card from the August 12th show
real,
from the Kurgan Hall.
real
Uh,
quick before you do that, sorry, we have a question from Robbie and Kenobi, who had just tweeted me. He says, "Have I seen Suicide Squad?" I guess this will go for you too, Jack. Have we seen Suicide Squad? And if so, do we like it better than Killing Joke?
well, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't necessarily say if it's better than The Killing Joke. I myself liked The Killing Joke. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But I'll have to wait until I see the Suicide Squad to really say if one was better than the other.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I can't really. I'm not gonna go and say that it sucked. I'm not gonna go and say like all the critics have said so far. Um, but everybody to each their own. I felt like it was a good movie. It was a good kind of installment into the DC universe, and I really liked the Killing Joke too. But I'm just gonna go and say Killing Joke was better in my opinion. But to me, I always like DC's animated movies a lot, so I guess it could go both ways. But I say Killing Joke.
All right. So one thing, this is obviously like about wrestling, but it's also about like other things, like other media forms. I want to go into video games. I want to talk about WWE 2K17 because 2K have just released some of the new features and some of the things that are going to be taking place in the upcoming game. the one thing that I took from this, which I'm pretty like I don't want to say bummed out about, but they will not be retaining uh, the showcase, which is the mode, like the story mode, if you will. You know, back in 2K15, you had the storyline of Punk and Cena, and then you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And then last year you had I guess, the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin. But sadly, this year we will not be having a 2K showcase mode because simply the fact that most of the people that they wanted to have it was going to be about Brock Lesnar, of course, being the cover star of the game. But the annoying thing was that most of the licenses to the wrestlers that Brock faced early on in his career could not be attained, so they couldn't have the superstar in, or they would face like lawsuits. But it sucks. That's a pretty bit of a disappointment, but still, I think the game is yeah, it's always going to be good, but I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, the showcase mode the past couple of years have been something that I've enjoyed because that's something you do when you get the game. I feel like that's one of the first things people do. You play through the showcase mode, get the feel of the game, like after doing like your first exhibition match or whatever, then you go straight to the showcase mode. And to me, it was something that really helped me get a feel of the game, and I know it helped other people like know how the game was going to run, how everything was going to be, how it was different than the previous year, and stuff that you might want for the next year. But I felt like it was fun. It gave kind of like the story mode aspect that Road to WrestleMania left when before like Road to WrestleMania ended, and yeah, I liked it, but I understand why they did it, especially because of the new features that I'm pretty sure you're gonna get into, Jack.
Mm. So they announced that there's going to be with the additions of the career mode, bringing that back once again. There's going to be a lot more you know things to do with like promos and how they're like really there to establish your character. Um, and then they also they encourage you to like do things like get new attire, like that it wears over time, and you're encouraged to like change up your style and stuff like that, which I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more realistic. You know, they always strive to make it realistic all the time, but I feel like this is a good adaptation. And then there's W Universe mode, of course, and then it's going to make it feel like a lot more like the network, and they're going to be implementing a lot of that in the game, and then just other things like that. So,
Yeah.
Um,
Amos, is there anything you wanna bring up?
Yeah, it's yeah. I guess you guys said already what I was gonna say, so we'll continue on, I guess.
All right, so you lead the way. If there's any stories of anything you want to talk about.
Um, Gio, you already talked about the G1 climax, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into big UFC news since we got me, the biggest UFC fan here, I guess. We got
Yeah,
Jack. He's a he's a mildly moderate
yeah,
MMA fan.
yeah.
See what I did there? See what I did there? And then we got Gio, of course, who likes UFC too. And then yeah, so we'll talk about UFC 202, the big show next week, which in my opinion I think is going to be even better than, well, not even better. It will be better than UFC 200. The card looks amazing, and it's of course Diaz versus McGregor too. So yeah, we're gonna do a rundown of the main card and some big fights besides the main event going on, and what we think. So I guess we'll start off with you guys are all familiar with Anthony Johnson and Glover Teixeira, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the co-main event. So yeah, Anthony Johnson, Glover Teixeira. This is going to be the co-main event. Uh, Most likely, this is a light heavyweight title eliminator. Winner gets Daniel Cormier next at a future event for the title. Considering John Jones is out indefinitely for the time being because of his USADA violation and whatnot. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this fight? How do you think it's gonna go?
I'll let Gio talk about this first up.
Well, I feel like it should be a good part of the card. It should be a decent fight. Should be really fun, I guess, to get through, considering both of these guys are pretty good. Um,
Yep, indeed.
yeah, I feel like I don't know. This I think everybody is just really like hyped for McGregor and Diaz too, and they're not really considering the other good fights that are going to be happening.
Yeah, yeah,
They're,
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I mean, like, with all due respect, like, like, the majority of the fans in there are going to be Irish, or they're going to be, like,
Yeah,
Conor McGregor fans. So they're going to, I'm not going to say they're going to do everything they can to hijack the show, but I feel like the crowd isn't going to really care about any of the other fights until
yeah,
we get to the main event. Probably the co-main event, because it's that anticipation, like, right, the fight's next, let's get ready for it. But I don't think the crowd's really going to care until the main event. However, I do feel like the co-main event. It's a good. I feel like this is definitely like a number one contendership battle. Um, with John Jones being the fool that he is, he really
hmm
sort of
he needs to get his shit together.
he does. He really needs to sort of pull his head in and
Yeah.
really focus. But this should be a good fight. I'm gonna put my money. I'm gonna go for Johnson to win. I just I feel like with very recently it's with it at the moment it's very unpredictable. I mean, you want to talk about like the women's division or the bantamweight division. It's
Yeah,
very
everything's
yeah,
been unpredictable.
it's been
Every division.
unpredictable. So I feel like everyone gives Teixeira he's going to go in as the favorite, but I don't think that's going to happen. But
Yeah,
co-main event looks good, and it's a fun little thing that's gonna I feel like it's gonna get.
happened. Yeah.
So you have a comment here from AHS Rules. He said, "You tweet me stupid shit on Twitter. Geo is an ass clown, and Amos DMs too goddamn much. Fuck this shit."
I no, you know what? You know what? I'll save what I was gonna say a little bit later. I'm not trying to make this about
we're
other
very
things,
positive.
but I'll discuss this afterwards because this is really pissing me off. So I'll talk about this afterwards. But continuing on about Anthony Johnson, Glover Teixeira, because I really want to talk about this fight. This was originally supposed to be the co-main event from an event last month. Holm and Shevchenko in Chicago. This was the original co-main event before it got changed to Gilbert Melendez and Edson Barbosa. And yeah, this was supposed to be the original co-main event. They took it out to add Star Power as the co-main event to 202. And this is going to be a huge fight because Anthony Johnson's already fought with Daniel Cormier before. They fought for the light heavyweight title when John Jones got stripped because of the hit and run. And Johnson got tapped out by Daniel Cormier in the third round by rear naked choke. So Johnson has already fought Cormier. So if they do have a second fight, that would be great. And their first fight was not too bad either. It was actually pretty entertaining. Glover Teixeira, he's already fought for the belt before against John Jones, but he's never fought Cormier. So that would be nice to see someone else fight him. Like Jack said earlier, and like we were saying, I mean, the UFC is really unpredictable at this point. You can't really call it. Like if you have a favorite, that favorite probably might not win. Very likely that they might not win, considering how unpredictable it can be nowadays. So yeah, what's it called? I'm looking forward to that fight. It should be really good, and yeah, it should be hard hitting. Both guys are great fighters. So I appreciate both their work. Their styles are really really good in when they fight, and they're great mixed martial artists. So it should be nice. Some other fights on this show is Rick Story against Donald Cerrone. Rick Story, I've only seen a couple of his fights. I'm not too familiar with him, but I've only seen a couple of them, so I know who he is. Not that familiar with him. Donald Cerrone, I am very familiar with. A big fan of his. Are you guys big fans of Cerrone as well?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like. Well, he always invades my Twitter timeline. Like I always see him tweet, so it shows he's like pretty active.
Yeah,
As yeah, not being like a super duper fan as yourself. I feel like I'm only directed towards certain fires, and I feel like Cerrone is definitely one of those people. He he's a good fighter. You know, what I've seen of
Yeah,
him.
he's a workhorse too, is because like him, there's only a handful. Like you have your star power guys like McGregor, and then you have like Rousey, like before I guess. Then like the other star power people that give the UFC their big revenues and their big like gates and everything like that. And then you have the workhorses like guys like Stephen Thompson, Uriah Hall, Rory McDonald, Donald Cerrone, all those guys that fight on a regular basis. They'll fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk in the women's strawweight champion. They always fight on a regular basis, so they're like the workhorses of the UFC. Donald Cerrone jumps from lightweight to welterweight every now and then since his welterweight fight against Cote at Fight Night Ottawa, and he's in both the welterweight rankings and the lightweight rankings. So that's something that's really cool. He's in the rankings for two weight divisions, and you never know. Maybe in the future, with all this unpredictable stuff going on, maybe he can be the new he could be champion in the lightweight division and in the welterweight division. But it's a long shot, but you never know nowadays. But yeah, I think this fight's going to be pretty good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, Gio, have anything
Yeah.
to say?
Thomas Cerrone, he's the man, honestly. Like, he's one of those guys that once you, like, if you see an interview with him or something, like, he already gives off, like, positive energy in a way. So,
Yeah, he's like the Drake Younger of the UFC. He's always so positive and he's always nice. He's always a nice guy. You can't say anything bad about him.
yeah, he's the man, like I said. Um, I'm hoping, like, well, you just said that he's in the rankings for both weight divisions. That's really saying something. And I hope that he can get a title in some way, shape, or form soon, because
Yeah.
he really deserves it. I mean,
Yeah, he
after
does.
everything. So yeah,
Before we talk about obviously the main event,
Yeah,
Robbie
main event.
Wankadobi asked this question a little while ago, and I apologise that we were unable to answer it until now. This is regarding 2K17. He asks, do you think AJ Styles and Austin Aries will be DLC for 2K17? I personally think AJ will be in the game from the very beginning.
Mhm.
They did the scanning of the characters during, I think, WrestleMania. And I feel like with AJ is like such a big name already, I feel like it would be silly for him to like not be in the game. Austin Aries, I feel like could be DLC. They could release like an NXT character pack. They're already doing it with the pre-order DLC for the NXT edition. So I could definitely see Aries being DLC, but I don't think AJ would. I think AJ would be already in the game from the start.
Yeah,
Seeing Finn Balor,
he's already been for a
yes,
while.
exactly. Seeing as Finn Balor was like immediately in the game last year, and he was only
Yeah.
in WWE for not even a year. So I feel like
Yeah.
a guy like him, I feel like a guy like Stars would already be in the game from the start. But who knows? But I guarantee they'll both be in the game no matter what.
So
yeah,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
I feel
continue.
like Styles will probably be in the game, like Jack said. Aries might be DLC. I would hope that he would be in the game though. As for DLC, I would see like TM61 being DLC or something like that. Maybe
Probably,
Yeah,
Gargano.
61.
maybe like the revival or something like that.
Yeah, Revival, maybe Gargano and Ciampa.
Gargano and
Maybe.
Ciampa.
These are maybes. These aren't guarantees,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So I think now, seeing as we've been talking about the UFC, let's go to the main event, shall we?
Yes,
The
this is
rematch. The
the main
rematch of
event.
the rematch of all rematches, the match that was the fight, I should say, which was originally supposed to be taking place at UFC 200, the main event, but of course, due to Conor McGregor's controversial, I think is the word to call it, retirement, the match got pulled, but it got, I think 199. It got announced at August 20th, and it's going to be taking place the rematch: Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. I'll
Two.
quickly go into I'll quickly go into my thoughts briefly. I feel like everyone's expecting the same outcome. I don't think that's going to be the case. The reason I say that is that McGregor's had a lot more time to prepare. I'm not saying that he lost to Nate because he had no time to prepare. He only had 2 weeks, but he's still
Same with Nate. Same
yeah.
with Nate. He had 2 weeks too. So
They both had 2 weeks. I
yeah.
feel like McGregor because thankfully UFC posted the other fight, their first fight on YouTube during the week, and from what I was analyzing from the fight, I feel like McGregor just did not take Diaz like He just
Seriously.
he didn't take him seriously. Like, he was barely blocking. He had his hands down for the majority of the fight. The only time his like arms would sort of leave his waist is when he would go for strikes. And you could tell in the second round that he was close to being knocked out, so he had to make
Yep.
a takedown.
And
And he obviously wasn't necessarily working on his takedown the whole time. So Diaz had him in, and then landed some shots, put him in a rear naked choke, and
that was it. The
yeah,
rest is
and that,
history.
and that was it. But I feel like he's focused a lot more on his takedowns and his defense. He's gonna
His
try.
jujitsu.
He's gonna try do all he can to avoid submissions. But
Yes.
I think this is gonna be a this
It's
is
gonna
gonna
be a
be
barn burner.
yeah. It's gonna be like people expect it's gonna be like like, all right, Diaz is gonna beat him. I'm not sure that's the case. I'm not saying McGregor's gonna win, but his odds I think are a lot better than they once were.
Yeah, I don't want to sound
I'll
like
let G.
okay.
All right.
I don't,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
don't want to sound like cliche here, but I feel like McGregor is going into this fight as like a whole different man in a way. Like Jack said, he has had both of them have had a lot more time to prepare now, and McGregor he went in last time being usual Conor McGregor, kind of overconfident, thinking that it was just gonna be like a cakewalk. But it was a good fight, and I'm really excited to see how this fight's gonna turn out because now that both guys have had way more time to prepare, it should be like a lot better. Not that the other one was not good, 'cause everyone did like that fight, but it should be just way more interesting now that all the trash talk is over between both. And, like now they both know what each other brings, so it should be fun.
All right. So last but not least, I have a lot to say about this fight. Their first one, it got me really excited. I was at St. Louis Bar and Grill. I was watching it. I was, hyped up. I was watching when that choke got sunk in and it happened. That when Diaz tapped out McGregor. I mean, it was crazy. And I was the only guy in there that supported Nate Diaz. Everyone in that bar were McGregor fans. And at the end of the night, everyone was like, he was lucky, he got lucky, but he could be. I mean, but like, there's no luck in fighting. Fighting's fighting. If you win, and you win. There's no luck. It's just one guy was better than you, so you can't really complain. As for McGregor, I'm a fan of both guys now. I feel like when McGregor lost, like I didn't really, I didn't like him going into that fight, but I think once he lost and I seen his like, his personality and like who he truly is, and he got humbled, and he's like more, he's a moderate person now. He's not as like hyped up and always like energetic and cocky as he is for his fights anymore. So I like him a lot now, as a fighter and as a person. So as for this fight, like you guys were saying, the first fight, was great, fight of the night, and then it was, the fight was all McGregor round one. Then Diaz came back in round two, and like Jack said, that McGregor took Diaz a little too lightly, and he does that with a lot of his opponents. He's trying to be, he's trying to show that he's the superior fighter, and he's not really scared of the other guy. But Diaz's jiu-jitsu and his stand-up is amazing. I mean, it's on par with what McGregor brings, and now that they have more time to prepare, it'll be interesting to see if more time goes into the favor of Diaz or more time goes into the favor of McGregor. So I guess we're gonna have to just wait and see if McGregor can work with that jiu-jitsu and try and counter his Diaz's striking and jiu-jitsu and try and beat him at his own game. So, looking forward
Speaking
to
of
it.
We will have to wait and see.
speaking
We'll
of
have to
Diaz,
wait and see. Yeah.
how do you
Indeed.
guys feel about Nick Diaz's suspension being up as he is? To
There
me,
we go.
he's the best player out of this two, to me. So, how do you guys feel about that?
I'll go last again.
Um, it just it all depends. Like, you know, uh, like I feel like in when you go through suspension, like it has to set in. Like, you have to you have to change your ways. But I don't think, you know, his. Yeah, I don't even know how old he is now. You know,
He's like 34, 33, I think.
I don't expect him to have many fights. I would assume that his relationship with Dana has been probably very rocky, and he's very he's not too sure as to put him on a fight. So I feel like with the suspension, days are numbered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That, he's the better fighter out of the two. And like Jack said, I don't think after this whole suspension thing, and I don't know how the relationship is now, but I think it's not gonna. He's not gonna have too many fights. If he does, it's only gonna be a few. And I don't blame him. I mean, it's not like he's just not gonna become like relevant anymore or anything like that. Um, but it should be cool to see what fight they put him in, what his first fight back is gonna be, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Nick Diaz, big fan of him, big fan of both Diaz brothers. But yeah, his last fight, January 2015. Uh, it was that no contest. Well, no contest now, but it was originally a unanimous decision win for Anderson Silva. Um, and his fight against Diaz is a big, moneymaker for the UFC. I mean, his fights usually generate, anywhere between 800,000 to about 1 million pay-per-view buys for the UFC. So he's definitely a big name. The UFC is gonna try and capitalize on him with this suspension being up, maybe to build up on the 205 Madison Square Garden New York debut show in November. Definitely you're going to want him on there. Rumors are, being speculated that Diaz is supposed to fight Chael Sonnen at UFC 205, another big trash talker. That's reportedly in the talks. That fight makes no sense for me, but I mean, like, it makes no sense in the fight sense, I guess, rankings and whatnot, fight sense, and it doesn't really make sense to have them fight, but for the fans that really want to see them fight, because a lot of people want to see these two fight. They're probably the best trash talkers, two of some of the best trash talkers in UFC history. So it's going to be interesting to see, what they can do in their Diaz with his jiu-jitsu and Chael with his wrestling. But yeah, there's a lot of fights. Tyron Woodley, who I hate, cannot stand, the new UFC champion. He made it clear that he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Nick Diaz at UFC 202 this next Saturday. He just wanted to make a short notice fight for the title for some reason, and he's trying to dodge real contenders. Tyron Woodley, you jackass, get your shit together. You don't know what you're talking about. He's freaking dumb. But yeah, Diaz, and Tyron Woodley would be a nice fight, because I think Diaz would kick the absolute shit out of Tyron Woodley, and he would beat him for the title. So, Diaz has never held a UFC title. He's held the Strikeforce title, Elite XC, WEC, but, it'd be nice for him to hold the title before he retires, I guess. He's not getting any younger, so, yeah. Any fight that he has to come back for a return fight will be awesome. And the fact that he got suspended originally for 5 years because of marijuana, I think that's completely stupid. 5 years? Come on. Silva got busted for steroids, and he only got suspended for a year, so I think the UFC's biased.
Yeah.
The Diaz brothers be killing you. Would you ever fight one of them?
Yeah, the Diaz brothers be killing you.
So Robbie Wonkenobi asks, have you guys seen the South Park episode WTF when they form a backyard wrestling league? Fun fact for you. It's actually, I would imagine that you've probably brought up South Park, because did you guys know that on this day in 1997, the first ever episode of South Park aired? So there's a fun fact for you. I can actually remember this show, this episode. They were at like a WWE house show, and they wanted to form their own wrestling league, and they saw that they had wrestling at school, so they went and tried it, and of course it was amateur wrestling, and they didn't.
Oh, that freaking episode's hilarious.
Yeah.
and then he's showing them. He's like, "This is real wrestling," and he's like, "Why are you watching gay porn, man?" the
But yeah,
wrestling coach, and then he gets busted by the cops. He gets busted by the cops because he's showing the kids. He's like, "Sir, do you realize you're showing gay porn to these young children?" He's like, "It's amateur wrestling. That's fake wrestling."
so
And the remember from the episode was John Cena being at the house show.
Oh yeah, and
and
yeah,
Edge.
John Cena and Edge at the beginning.
Oh yeah, good time.
Oh boy. So, no more questions for the. We don't have any more questions for the meantime. I want to talk about something that I'm sure, like, not many of you guys will not necessarily have an interest in, but it doesn't really. I don't want to say benefit you, but for those of you who may know, WWE is currently touring Australia. For those of you who live in Sydney, your show is today. One big thing that's happened over the last couple of days, which was first announced at the New Zealand show, is that soon NXT will be making an Australian and New Zealand tour with talks of possible TV tapings. And the reason it's possible is because several of the people at the merchandising stand were apparently saying to people it's going to be packed when they come for the takeover. So apparently after Brooklyn, the next NXT Takeover special will be live from Australia. I cannot say enough how amazing that is. Even if they just do like a tour in Australia, that still is still like amazing.
You got your handful of Australians and got a handful of Aussies in NXT anyways. You got
Exactly.
Peyton Royce, yeah, delicious Peyton Royce. You got TM61.
Yeah,
You got Chris Atkins,
Billy Kay.
Billy Kay, yeah, Billy Kay.
So like you have
Yeah,
a fair name Australian, and just to think like that would be like huge. I feel like that is something like I would like definitely pay money to travel to go and see, because when can you say to people that there's been an NXT Takeover special in in Australia? So
maybe they could do like a main event for that takeover, TM61 versus the Revival for the tag titles.
that'll
be
be
nice.
good. That'd be good. It'd be a nice little return
Nice
home.
little treat.
I was looking
We
at
could see
the
mighty don't kneel win the title.
I was looking at the prices of the merchandise for the Australian tour. My God, they want to do all they can to take money from us. So shirts, all shirts, $55.
Jesus.
New Day horns, unicorn horns, $50.
Oh my
Jeez.
god.
Yeah, they're trying to it's probably so expensive for them to tour there. They're like, fuck this, we're just gonna like rip off a bunch of fans and try and get our money back.
AJ Styles gloves, $50.
The worst part is that people are actually gonna buy them too. That's the worst.
And then you have I think the most expensive thing is they had the Roman Reigns vest, and that was $100.
Oh my
Goodness.
But yeah.
Well, 100. It was 100 at the Superstore in WrestleMania, I think.
I think that
Or 75. It was like 75.
And I think that's 75 in WWE shop.
Yeah.
But
100 is not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but
I
like
just feel like some of these prices.
it's like you're paying for shipping, I guess. Like in Australia, I guess you pay shipping that much for a vest anyway, so it'd be like 100.
Well, yeah, the
anyway,
shipping is a lot more crazy. Because a T-shirt is like.
Jack, how much would it be to like get a decent order of DVDs to Australia?
Well, the biggest DVD order I've probably done was probably my TNA, but that was like Black Friday, and that probably cost me like maybe $60 overall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
So,
I think.
Do you ever buy from ROH?
I've done an ROH order before, but that cost me. Well, this wasn't when they were on the sale, so I think it might have been like $70-$80, which is still fairly decent.
I can imagine, because their shipping prices are just insane over here.
It's ridiculous on ROH's, and consider that I have to pay converted from U.S. to Canadian, and the Canadian dollar sucks ass. So $5 US is like freaking $11 Canadian. So when there was that sale for ROH DVDs, and it was $1 for the ROH on HD Nets, I'm like, that's not a bargain for me, because I'm gonna end up paying basically how much it was regular price. So
yeah.
That's why I hate living in Canada. But I like Canada, but the Canada shipping prices are a little bit stupid.
I felt like going to movies now would be a good thing. Has everyone
Yeah.
seen the Star Wars Rogue One trailer?
No, I
Yeah.
have not.
Wow. Well, first of all, definitely go watch it. I feel like, yeah, basically, if anyone who is watching doesn't know what Rogue One is, it is the first spin-off film that they're going to be doing as part of the Star Wars canon series. And basically, what canon means is that everything that like actually happened like in the Star Wars like universe, like they have expanded universes. It's so complicated when it comes to things like that. But basically, like canon means that like whatever happens, like it happened along the same timeline as the movies. So this is going to be taking place between episode 3 and episode 4. When just early, rise of the Empire, and
This is like that we couldn't see it.
it's pretty complicated. But the second trailer for the film, was released yesterday, and if you want to see a reaction for it, cheap plug, it is on my channel, so go ahead and watch that. But the trailer itself is really good. But seeing as you guys have not seen it, I feel like we should move on to the next topic.
I only know the ending part about it because I've seen so many people talk about it. I'm not too big of a Star Wars guy, but like if there's a big movie like what was the last one? The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Like I saw like if it's a big like now how Star Wars is kind of coming back, I'll go and watch it just because and I liked it, so yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not. I know absolutely nothing about like. I know Star Wars has lightsabers. I know Yoda, and that's about it. Skywalker. That's it.
Well, that's well,
That's all I know.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
good.
not
Like
a Star Wars guy.
me and Amos kind of like are on the same boat. Like I kind of know the story, like what's going
Yeah.
on. Like I know what the story is about it, but
But
once
yeah,
it
I
goes
know
like
absolutely nothing about it.
deep in like part, like I can't name every single character. So
So, does anyone else have any topics or anything to talk about?
Um. Goodness sakes. Hold on one sec. Yeah, continue. I'm gonna send something to both you guys. I don't know. I'm still kind of eerie about this whole situation.
Well, I'm going to talk
But
about NXT Takeover Brooklyn
yeah,
because the most recent episode, 3 of the 5 matches got announced. Well, one got made official, so 4 matches technically. The first, Bailey versus Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship, the main event. Well, not the main event, I should say. The match was signed on, made official during the most recent NXT show. Then you have Andrade Cien Almas going to go up against the debuting Glorious Bobby Roode. You have Noe Jose going up against Austin Aries, and for the NXT Tag Team Championships, you have the Revival defending against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and of course, not to forget the main event, Samoa Joe defending the NXT Championship against the man himself, Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm going to give my quick thoughts on each match. So, starting off with the Women's Championship match, it is one of the most I feel like is the most anticipated like rematch in a long time. Bailey losing at Takeover Dallas was a big shock. I didn't expect it, but I'm happy these guys are finally having a rematch. I feel like Asuka is probably going to go have a heel turn because it would make sense. And it's not going to be anything like Sasha and Bailey, but it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be pretty damn close. Quickly now with Roode and Almas. I'm not really expecting much from this match. I'm a big fan of Cien Almas. I feel like he
La
shows
Sombra.
he's shown some good he's done good for himself so far. But I feel like Bobby Roode, I'm a big fan of him, and his theme song. I can't say enough about his theme song. It's damn good.
It's glorious.
It is. And then it's just I feel like it doesn't fit Rude. But I feel like it's a
I
good
like the Off the Chain theme song too, though. All his theme songs are cool.
his instrumental one in TNA, like it was the off the chain but without the
The
words.
instrumental off the chain one, right? Yeah, off the
Yeah,
chain instrumental was good.
that was good.
It was a
And then
perfect heel tune. Heel
and yeah,
tune.
that was probably his best ever run. Then you have Austin Aries versus No Way Jose. I
No
feel
way, Jose.
I feel sad. I feel sorry for Aries because like he came in at a really bad time. Like he came in. Nakamura was just came in, and then you had Balor and Joe. He just really like he came in with such promise, and I feel like he was buried, not buried, but he just really didn't mean
He's
it.
like an afterthought.
Yeah, and which sucks because I think Aries is one of the best wrestlers like they actually have right now, but he's never on TV anymore. But no way, Jose. Uh, I don't think he's gonna
He's
really.
good. He's alright.
He's good, but he's not really gonna like like.
Make it too
He's
big.
not.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not
like
gonna be an NXT champion.
he's over with the NXT crowd. It's like, but
He's like
like the NXT crowds are different than WWE
He's like
crowds. So
Mojo. Like he's like
like
Mojo.
yeah,
Mojo
he's like
Rawley,
Mojo.
Breeze. Like when those guys were in NXT, they were like so over. And then like Adam Rose too. Adam Rose is a perfect example. He was so over in NXT, and all exotic express. And then once it comes up to the main roster, it's just like, what is happening? You know?
Because like they can't get over.
And
NXT
then
guys, they get over quick. No matter who you are, you're
Yeah,
gonna get over in NXT.
exactly.
But it's gonna be a while. Like look at Apollo Crews. Like he's
I
freaking
know.
over as hell on NXT, and then now he's like, he's over a bit, but like he's not as over as he was in NXT. So
Yeah, and
and then
then
as for Aries, like sorry, as for Aries, I feel kind of bad for him. Like you said, he came in at a really bad time, and then Rude, he comes in, and it would have been a bad time if they just made him debut. But no, they saved him, and they're saving him like he's a big deal. But Aries is a really big deal too, and then they just like threw him out like nothing.
I feel like what should happen, right, is like this is going to come into the tag title match. You have Gargano and Ciampa versus the Revival. What I feel like the best storyline would be for Gargano and Ciampa to win the titles. Revival go up to the main roster, and then Rude and Aries team up and bring back the Dirty Heels, and then they can feud with the babyface tag team champions for the belts.
But there is also very, very strong rumors of a man by the name of Roderick Strong going to NXT and then teaming with Aries, bringing back Generation Next, and then going for the tag titles. So
I like it.
Generation Next.
But I would prefer like if Roddy came in, I would want him to like I don't want to say like go against Nakamura like so soon, but I feel like that would be the best feud for him to come into.
yeah,
Like, go straight for the title.
yeah.
We'll see. But I
I
feel
would
like
like
the tag titles, it's going to be like I'm really excited for it. I feel like this is going to be like the match that probably opens because they always start with the tag titles for some reason because it's like I feel like the tag title division on NXT is probably the best like right now. It's I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. That's all I can really
Yeah.
say about it all.
Yeah. I hope Gargano and Ciampa win. I really do.
Yeah,
Because
they're most likely they're gonna win, no doubt.
there's nothing left for the Revival to do anyway. So,
Best that they just go to the main roster, see what they can do there.
But yeah, so does anyone have anything else they want to talk about? Because I'm just running out of ideas.
Yeah, we're
wow.
almost hitting the hour. We're almost hitting the 1 hour mark, actually.
Well, the price. Everybody has a
Oh,
price.
goodness sakes. All
Everybody
right,
has.
well, so Gio has this little game that he wants to play called The Price is USP. And basically, I guess Gio can explain the rules to his homemade game.
All right. It's basically if anybody has seen The Price is Right or at least knows the concept, I will be finding randomized wrestling merch or memorabilia on eBay and on whatever like sites that sell stuff, and these guys are gonna have to try and guess without looking it up, not cheating. Try and guess what what the prices, and then whoever has the closest price will win for that round. And I say we'll do a couple rounds. So,
All right, go
yeah.
ahead.
All right. Our first item. Let me get it pulled up here. You guys talk about Randy Orton while I'm pulling this up.
Okay.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. That slithery snake. Oh. What is there to talk about Randy Orton? SummerSlam, Brock
He good,
Lesnar,
man. He good. He needs to
Pay-per-view.
go over, man. I mean, like, if he doesn't win this match, like, Brock doesn't even need the momentum anyways. Like, if he loses, it's not like it's gonna kill him. Like, Orton needs the momentum more than anyone because, like, you know, his last win, you know, at a big show was, what, WrestleMania last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the thing with Taker, sorry, not Taker, Lesnar, I should say, is like it talks about killing his momentum, but I really don't think he's had any momentum at all since Hell in a Cell.
Last year.
Like
Yeah, yeah, since last year.
like even the Royal Rumble, like he just didn't mean anything.
Yeah, like, and now that he got busted by USADA and whatnot, it doesn't even matter now because, like, he's not as big of a star as he was, let's say,
I mean,
last year.
I,
So,
I,
you know, if he loses, it doesn't even matter. No one's gonna care. No one's gonna be on, like, on the forum saying, "Ah, Brock, they made Brock lose. Look at that. Brock doesn't mean shit anymore."
I mean, like you
Like,
know, like
Orton needs the momentum again
yeah,
because he's kind of really haven't done anything as of late. So, I mean, he has to get that win, and you know, he can maybe
exactly.
be up there in that WWE Championship picture again.
All right, I got it.
All right.
All right. So your first item is. Do you guys remember when Rusev was playing off that he was injured and he had the crutches?
Yeah.
Oh goodness sakes, the
The
crutch.
first item is a WWE used and signed crutches from Rusev.
Oh
Wow.
goodness. All right.
Wow.
So
Signed as well.
let's put our bids here.
You,
I'm gonna go. Well, they usually sell things like that for crazy prices.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let. I'm gonna Amos go first because I need to think
All
about
right. Signed. If they weren't signed, I'd have a pretty decent choice as a number, but I guess I'm gonna I'll go with say in $1,000. Both crutches or one only?
both.
I'm
Both.
gonna.
Okay, yeah, 1,000. I'll say 1,000 because crutches alone are like $100 each, I
As soon
think.
as
So
they
yeah, I'll go with 1,000.
used and signed, I'm gonna
I'll
go.
go 1,000.
I'm gonna go 1,500.
All right. And Jack, you are the closest.
Ah, goodness sakes.
How much did they actually go for?
Is WWE used and signed crutches by
I
Rusev?
swear,
Okay.
if you say 1,000, if you say $1,200 or between that, I'm gonna be pissed because that's what I was gonna say.
They're going for $1,699 and
Wow.
plus $110 shipping.
Jesus.
And Rusev isn't even like like he's not the biggest star either, so it's just crutches. It's not like it's signed by Cena or something, or like Orton or Batista. What if someone was selling the wheelchair that Batista used the night after the
Oh, the one that
over
he
the
quit?
limit?
I'd pay big money
Yeah,
for
when he
that.
quit.
That'd be like 5,000 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next item is a Don West TNA Wrestling brown bag autographed by Don West and Jimmy J.
Ah,
Wow.
20 bucks. 20 bucks
Um,
because it's 20 bucks for it with like stuff inside. I think I'll say 20 bucks.
I'm gonna go.
Don West.
I'm gonna
Don
go.
West, the man.
I'm gonna go 25.
And Jack hit it right on the money. It is
Oh my
24.
goodness.
Oh, jeez.
2 points. 2 points for Jack right now.
Wait, the brown bag. Is
Easy.
it just the bag or is it DVDs and T-shirts?
It's just the bag. It's just the
Oh
bag.
wow.
What are you talking? What, you can get the bag with stuff in it with it signed by Don West for 20 bucks. That's
Don West
retarded.
and Jimmy J. Come on, Jimmy J. High
Jimmy
five.
J. Oh my God.
Wow.
Who cares?
All right. The next item is a wrestling ringside bell autographed by Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh,
What? Who gives a fuck?
500.
I thought you were gonna say it was signed by like Tony Chimmel or something.
This looks like it was used at like some kind of crap indie show or something.
I can tell it's probably like some red. Is it a red ring bell with like one of those ball peen hammers?
It's close. What's your guess?
500.
I'll go with 100, 150, 150. I'll say 150.
Jack?
Well,
You said-
I said 500.
Correct.
I said 150.
The winner of this one is Amos.
Yeah.
Currently 4 days left with 0 bids if anybody's interested. $50.
Wow.
Ah, $50.
That's an autographed piece of history there, folks. Get on to that.
Yeah, by Abdullah the Butcher, who's responsible for multiple people getting hepatitis C. So if you want some hepatitis, go buy that. Go buy that. There's probably some blood stains from Abdullah, so if you want to touch that or put your blood towards it, yeah, you'll be. It's basically a hepatitis C capturer. You want some hepatitis C, go buy that. So
Alright, this one, now we're getting down to the big ones here.
the nitty gritty.
This is a WWE/WWF Macho Man Randy Savage ring worn and hand signed Mega Powers jacket vest.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna say. Well, he's dead, so I'm gonna say. I'll go with 3,000. I'll go with 3,500. 3,500.
Alright.
I'm gonna go with 6,000.
And Amos with the comeback.
Hey.
This is-
Ah,
This is currently going for $5,000.
Oh, wow.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. What's it called? Robbie One Kenobi just asked me a question. He asked me, "Hey Amos, what are your thoughts on the announcement that Alexa Grasso will fight Heather Jo Clark on November 5th in New Mexico City?" What are my thoughts? Mexico City, November 5th. It's the Latin America Tough finale. Latin America Ultimate Fighter finale. Yeah, heard some buzz about this Alexa Grasso and Invicta and whatnot, and she's good. I like her. Heather Jo Clark is pretty good too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. Thanks, Robbie, for the question.
Yeah, Robbie, thanks for asking us questions throughout
Yes.
this whole thing.
Thank you for being not necessarily a loyal, but a fan of the channel. Thank you for giving us some support, unlike others.
We need to come up with names for our fans. For one fan in Robbie Kenobi. Last item here. We're down to the biggest item on the list. This is not some Jinder Mahal tights,
Oh.
but it is Hulkamania, the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan
goodness.
signed 1980s WWF match used wrestling boot.
Well,
I have a good one.
Hogan's stuff is already goes for like so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
So you first. Let me think about this.
yeah. I'll go with 9,500.
All right.
I'm gonna go with 15,000.
Who wins? Who wins?
Drum roll, please. And Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Our
How much did it go for then?
You are not our winner because Amos is our winner as the
Yeah.
true price of these
What?
signed these true price of these
Yes.
signed boots are $11,999.99.
I like
Goddamn.
it. I like it. I win it. Yes,
Amos
I'm
with the
the
comeback
price.
of the century.
I am the Price is USB champion.
And
Whoever wants to beat me, Austin, I'm issuing a challenge. Austin AHS Rules, you watching this? You might be the face-off champion. You might be the trivia champion. But you ain't the Price is USP champion. That my friends. The champ is here. You want to fight me for my title? Join us for an episode of the United Smarks and come face me. Try and take my title. So
Challenges.
I'm the champ. I'm the champ.
All right.
Challenge
Alright,
is set.
so I feel like
So yeah,
we should wrap it
should we
up.
close it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should wrap it up. Yeah, it's
So,
11:05. We've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. If you've been watching since the start, or you just started at some point in the middle, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's a big deal for us, even if our chat box thing was acting up. It's fine, but we feel like we did all right.
and if some people disagree with what we do,
Yeah, with what we're
then
doing, yeah.
and I think
Fuck you.
I think no, I don't think we should say that. But I think you know who you are, and you know you are. You just let us do what we want to do. So if you
Let's
don't
just
like,
say we're not gonna stop just because you don't like what we're doing.
Yeah.
if you don't like what we do, it's simple.
Don't watch us. Don't watch us. Yeah. Simple.
This is not gonna be just a one-time thing. We're
Every Friday, 10 o'clock. Come check it out.
pretty much devoted into this for now, at least.
Yeah.
We're taking over. We're taking over.
We should probably get that special.
All right. Wait. You know what? Fuck the Monday announcement. We're announcing it now. Big announcement. I tweeted out. Let's not say it now, but I tweeted out yesterday. If you follow me on Twitter @TrueLifeVids, cheap plug. Yeah, basically I tweeted out that we're gonna have a special guest next Wednesday for us, and we're gonna upload it on Friday night at 10 o'clock. It'll be a pre-recorded thing on private for the time being, and then we have a special guest. And I tweeted out that leprechauns are in the sky. Geo tweeted out that we're gonna have Hornswoggle's hat as our guest, and I'm very pleased to announce that we have Hornswoggle's hat as our big guest.
I couldn't.
Epic guest.
So
Hornswoggle's hat is
anybody,
our guest.
since it's going to be pre-recorded, we would appreciate you guys to ask us questions, tweet us throughout the week until Wednesday, asking questions to ask Hornswoggle's hat. I don't know how it's going to respond to us, but yeah.
We're just joking. Hornswoggle's hat isn't gonna be on our show. Let's tell them who's actually gonna be on our show. Geo, you're responsible for him being on anyway, so take it away, buddy. The announcement's yours.
All right. So
next Friday night, baby. Who's gonna be on? The Satanist himself.
Our special guest is from Ohio is for Killers. We will have Dave Chris on the podcast.
One half of formerly known as Irish Airborne, Dave Chris.
Yes.
He's gonna be on. Guaranteed. He will be on. No subject to take. No card subject to change shit going on. We got him guaranteed next Wednesday.
And don't worry,
United
we'll probably have some kind of conversation between us, just like wrapping up like any news that might have happened, and then we'll go into the interview. Or whatever we're gonna do. So, forward to that.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Dave, Chris. Next Wednesday or next Friday for you guys. Next Wednesday for us. We're really looking forward to it. He should be cool. He's an awesome guy. Irish Airborne, always cool guys. Yeah. So Dave, Chris, baby, if you want to ask us some questions to ask Dave, Chris, we will mention you as the original sayers of the question. So just tweet us out, link us up throughout the week.
Yeah, for sure. You guys know our Twitters. Just tweet us any questions you guys have. It will be greatly appreciated. It'll be a fun time. So make sure you tune in next week.
Yes.
Yep, Dave Chris, baby.
Let's do it.
He's the man. He's the man. And wait, and before we go, also with the occasion of a special guest next week, we will try our very best to have a special guest maybe every 2 weeks, shows. So since this was our debut show, we didn't want to we wanted a guest originally, but we were like, why would we get a guest and the show isn't even hyped up? At least we have tonight to hype up next week's show with Dave Chris. But basically, we'll try and have a guest every 2 weeks. We're gonna try and I tried to get Tom Lawler. He hasn't DM'd me back, but we'll try and get him. He's always a cool guy.
we'll keep some
Yeah, we'll
surprises.
keep
Right?
guys in mind. Yeah, we'll keep some surprises, but
Yes.
yeah, we're hopefully looking forward to having more guests every other week as a tradition, and it'll definitely boost up our show. And yeah,
All
thanks
right.
for watching.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching.
We really
Very much.
appreciate it.
Very much appreciate it. If you would love to give us some love, definitely definitely hit that subscribe button. Really do us some favors.
And
Subscribe to individual.
comment,
Yeah.
do everything, all that jazz, do all that jazz.
Just
Tweet us,
don't
yes, tweet us.
All right.
Don't
So yeah.
forget, Dave Chris next week, baby.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, we will see you very very soon.